or 2 or 3. So here I got a little schedule. I picked out the stuff that was really important. And when I go back and look at it in terms of being the symptom, not the cause so much, the symptom of it all, wow. Well, check it out with me. Here is a full moon on August 20th. And the astrocartography said lots of rain. Some roads would be out. It's stronger on the Hilo side of the Big Island. Probably we'll look at this. And then a week later, there's a 3/4 moon, and that shows some homes may be flooded over on the Hilo side. I don't mean a whole bunch necessarily, but here's the symptoms, see? So this latter part of August could be kind of wet on the Hilo side. Now, this one, I guess it comes of working on Mercury retrograde. The first time I went over this is on show 867, aired 868. But here we are, 20 shows later, and I had written that Pluto opposed the ascendant. And I thought that could be volcanic stuff, maybe Vog. But then here's Uranus squaring the rising sign from the midheaven, from the top of the chart. Goodness, the Hilo side is worse, it seemed. High winds knock out traffic lights on the Big Island. When I went over this in the last couple of days for this show, I noticed here's Pluto stopping. Pluto stations on September 20th. So this makes Pluto stuff, Vog and volcanoes and, police telling people what to do. That could be Pluto opposed the rising sign, the ascendant. So these are symptoms, and these are more serious than I had originally thought when I went through it. Leads me to the full moon on September 19th, and there were high winds on the Kona side of the Big Island. That could be high winds in Hilo too. I'm not that, it's only 1 degree difference between Kona and Hilo. Then it all shifts gears kind of when I got to the next important lunation is a quarter moon on October 11th, and showed Maui is taking some rain. And on December 2nd, there's a new moon that shows more Vog on the Kona side. It could be those military jets. There's a symptom of the roaring, so to speak, or the irritating stuff. But when those military jets use our airport, wow, it is really thunder, and it's terrible for days and days. Finally, here on December 25th, it's extra cold on a 3/4 moon on the Kona side and on Maui. So some rain, some wind here, but what it really comes down to are these two charts in September. So we're going to go back and look at the charts, because these are symptoms, and these could be the symptoms of a near hit or a heavy storm, or do I dare say the word hurricane? I've learned to be more careful, and just give you the symptoms in a way. It'd be nice if, well, come on, let's go check them out. Boy, the more I do this, the better I get. Let me show you how easy this is now. When I first started this study, I was doing hand calculations. If you're running solar fire, you click on chart, and here it says lunar phase. And as long as your location is all set, you wind up with a screen like this. Now, I do them all for the area I live in, just because it makes it more interesting to know. But this thing gives you amazing stuff. You get 24, you get a whole, you can do all the first quarter, third quarter, full moons, new moons for 100 years here, and this thing just does them out for you. Bang! Here's an example. I just lined up all these lunations for us in Hawaii, and this a lot of them, but I can go through them real quick. I can look at August 6th. Here it is, and look at that. Saturn, it's a little bit cold. And then there's a week later. Every week there's another chart, because now I've learned the first quarter and 3 quarters they work. That Formosa thing was a 3/4 moon. And I can go down a list. Here's August 20th, okay? Where are you guys at? Yes. August 20th, Jupiter is opposing. Jupiter usually is shock, that's rain. So people are getting a little too much rain and they don't like it, especially in the week following August 20th, the last week of August. And here's Pluto on the rising sign over here too, which is a little bit suspicious. And here is Uranus down at the bottom of the chart. So this chart makes, let's take a bigger look at it here. This chart, gosh, it's not exactly comfortable. Maybe I should start here. Every time I go back and look at this stuff, I see a little different kind of things. All I saw was rain here the first time. August 20th, full moon, lots of rain, some roads out, strongest on the Hilo side. And that's all I had to say. But here's a sense of crisis with Pluto here. And here's Jupiter, thunderstorms, rain, lightning, And here's Uranus down here. Oh, I see. That's why I said electrical problems and stoplights out and traffic snarls, as it were, because this could be just too much rain and you can't get out on the roads the way you want. That's possible if we just stick to the symptoms here. Well, then I said on August 27th, 3/4 moon, some homes flooded. That's a big thing. Why would that be? I look at this chart. Here's the full moon. Oh, here's Neptune up at the top of the chart, squaring the rising sign, opposing the sun. And the sun is the ruler of Leo, is the 4th house. So we have Neptune giving our homes trouble, and in Hawaii, that appears to be, on the Big Island anyway, probably Maui also, gives us a problem with our home. There's the moon over here squaring the sun, squaring Neptune. Neptune has to do with liquids. So, I think I was pretty good on that one. I don't know why particularly it's on the Hilo side, but I must have done a chart and said 1 degree was important. I go further, I want to look at my trusted old ephemeris, and what I'm looking for is to see if any of these, I call them actors on the stage, if any of these big planets are going to act up in their with everybody else. It generally because of 2 reasons. One is because they station. Here was a station of Uranus, and we get shaking and hurricane. But I'm looking for stations, the little S's and R's here. The other reason that they act up is because of full moons and new moons. Like here in August, we have a 14 Leo new moon and a 28 Aquarius full moon. If these actors hit those lunation points, they get a little bit loony. But it seems like August isn't too bad. So let's take a look at September, because we're going to go look at the astrocartography. And is there anything stationing here? Oh yeah, there it is. Look at that. It's Pluto. And it stops on the 20th of September. Now that's, you gotta watch. What about lunations? We have a lunation the first part of September, 13 Virgo, and then a 27 Pisces full moon. 13 Virgo likes Pluto, but anyway, Pluto could act out. Pluto is police, panic, Pele, pollution, stuff like that. And on 20 days on either side of this puts us in range of those. Anything else going on here? Look into October a little bit. Nobody is slowing down to stop. Particularly at a watch old Mercury. Okay, so the main character that could act up here is Pluto. Keep that in mind. Okay, here's our September 5th new moon. And the way it looks, doggone, here's Pluto opposing the rising sign. That's not so hot, because we know that this has a month to run while it's super strong. The whole month of September, first few days in October, and we're all concerned with Pluto here. The nodes are in harmony, but so I don't know that there's damage. Jupiter here on the first house opposing Pluto, so maybe we're all angry at all those military planes or something, or the VOG, and we're just a little afraid of volcanoes for a little bit on this new moon period. Okay, a week later we have our first quarter moon, September 12th, real close to the station point, huh? What's going on here? Uranus is at 11. Here's Pluto at the bottom, but the Uranus-Pluto thing at 9 to 11 degrees, Mercury's here. Oh, Mercury's near the rising sign and is in danger of opposing Uranus and squaring Pluto. Mercury, communication, transportation, huh? Okay, so I just move that chart over to Honolulu and see if it gets better or worse. And Mercury's at 5 Libra. It's 5 degrees off the rising, and the bad guys are not potent there. That's a little better. Okay, here we got the full moon September 19th. And what did I say? High winds, Kona side of the Big Island. And what's going on here? Oh, here in Kona, we've got Uranus at the top of the chart. We're here at 11:42 is the public thing, see? And Uranus is at 11:05. Pretty doggone close. Let's see if I move that to Hilo. Let's see what happened. There, it went off by like 1.5 degrees, huh? So it's really seemingly focused on Kona. Could be focused on Maui a bit too. Let's check that. Oh, I didn't check that before. Here we got Uranus at 11:05, and on Maui, the midheaven for the full moon, September 19th, is right up on top. So Maui could have more strong public chaos than Kona. Public chaos, what's that? Tree limbs down in the street, problems with electricity maybe, unusual circumstances on the public scene. And it appears to be sharper on Maui. Maybe I better check Honolulu. Oh, that's interesting. It went to 9:39. So Uranus is now off by 1.5 degrees or so off the midheaven, but it's still in the 10th house. You could still get some public chaos, or even though it seems to be not as, of course, look out, because here's old Pluto down here. Remember Pluto? Pluto is stopping. Yes, stopping at 8:58. And here we are with the midheaven at 8:58. It's 9:39, excuse me. Well, that's only 0.5 degree off. So, Pluto could be very strong here in this September 19th. It's in the 6th house, noticeably off the descendant, at least. It's not going to scare people. But being in the 6th house, this could be a strike by workers of some kind in the transportation communication business. Maybe it's VOG, because it's in the house of health and service and work. I'm not sure. But Uranus up here is less focused on the rising sign, the tendency to twist and twirl and stuff. Of course, and we're talking September, the actor on the stage that's really strong is this guy, Pluto. Well, I'm sticking by my guns. That's not a hurricane. It could be a storm off in the Pacific. It could be high winds and could be big water stuff. But it's not the destruction of the home we know.